it is so good to be here to campaign to make sure that Abdul El-Sayed is the next U.S. Senator from Michigan. And I've been thinking a lot about this because every single day in Congress, we have choices that we make. And when you think about how people make choices, you got to look at who's bankrolling them. Because you want to know, are they going to stand up for you, the constituents that they represent, or are they going to stand up for the big money that has poured money into the campaign to buy a U.S. Senate seat? And so in this race, there's $50 million that has come in against Abdul. 50 million. 30 million is from AIPAC. 14 million is from big pharma and the healthcare industry. And so you got to ask yourself, is this theoretical? What does this mean? Well, let's look at just a couple of examples. And the first one is, just 2 weeks ago, we had a vote in the House to cut $3.3 billion of aid to Israel so that we could stop the genocide in Gaza, stop the violence in the West Bank. And Abdul's opponent voted against that amendment. So you got to wonder what's going to happen when she goes to the U.S. Senate, if she were to go to the U.S. Senate, and I think you know exactly what's going to happen. Abdul is going to stand up for the values that he is rooted in, not for the money that pours into his campaign. The second example I want to give you is around health care. Now, you all know I'm the lead sponsor of the Medicare for All bill in the House of Representatives. And Abdul is a doctor. He knows exactly what we need to do on health care. He has literally written a book on Medicare for All. And she's got it right there. She's got the book right there. I wrote the foreword for that book. I will sign your copy. So here's the thing. When $14 million is being thrown into this race by Big Pharma and the healthcare industry, why do you think they're doing that? They're doing that because they profit from the sick care system that we have right now.
That's right.
And as you all and Americans across this country are struggling with the high cost of healthcare, in my district, my constituents are paying $20,000 on average for their health insurance premium. Just their premium. No copay, no deductible included in that, no out-of-pocket costs included in that. And that's just for the insurance premium. Abdul knows and has been fighting for from day one. He is not going to be moved on this issue. He knows that Medicare for All means guaranteed universal health care where everything is covered from birth to death. And who's going to make the argument for that? Now, the third thing I want to talk about is very personal to me. I think many of you know that I came to the United States by myself as an immigrant when I was 16 years old. I didn't have any money in my pocket, no parents, no family, and now I serve as the first and only South Asian American woman in the United States House of Representatives. And I'm one of only 24 naturalized citizens to serve in Congress. And when we take back the House, I will be the chair of the Immigration Subcommittee. And here's the thing. What ICE and CBP are doing across the country, and Senator Warren and I just came from Minneapolis where we were campaigning there, is unbelievable cruelty. It's a militia that's been unleashed onto the streets of the United States, killing U.S. citizens like Renee Good and Alex Preddy, people who have been here without committing a single crime, like Lorenzo Salgado Araujo in Texas and Johan Christian Guerrero in Biddeford, Maine. We have to stop that. But Abdul's opponent, when given the chance in the House of Representatives, voted to thank ICE. To laud ICE. ICE should not exist as it does. It needs to be disbanded. We can do immigration enforcement in a different way, and Abdul is the only candidate that I trust to do that in the United States Senate. We just had a vote on how to spend the United States money in the House. Actually, we had several. And one of them was to give $1.15 trillion to the Pentagon for this illegal war, for all the fraud, waste, and abuse that happens at the Pentagon, and another $70 billion specifically for the Iran war. And we had a vote. It was on my War Powers resolution. We passed the War Powers resolution in the House to end this illegal war in Iran. And Abdul is the guy that I trust in the United States Senate to work with the incredible, fantastic senators that you're going to hear from, Chris Van Hollen and Senator Elizabeth Warren, to make sure that we are spending our money right here at home on your health care, on your groceries, on your child care, on your housing. Those are the things that matter. We should not be spending it on the Pentagon, which, by the way, is the only federal agency that has not just not passed an audit, it's failed 8 audits, and yet we keep giving money. And so when I say, the way I started, that this campaign is about choices that people make in Congress every day, what I want to tell you is that it matters who you elect, because it matters whether they are going to be rooted in their values or whether they're going to stick a finger up in the air and decide which way the wind is blowing or who is funding them in order to make the decisions that affect your lives, your children, your grandchildren, your parents. And Abdul is somebody that I have worked with now for almost a decade. And we worked together on the Biden-Sanders Unity Task Force on Healthcare. And the guy is unmovable on the values that root him and will help him fight for you. He is unapologetic about what his mission is going to be in the United States Senate, and that is to lift up working people and not the billionaires, not the giant corporations, not the superpowers. He is going to fight for the working people of Michigan. He is going to make sure that you have a right to thrive and not just barely survive. Thrive, not just barely survive. So I want to ask you, are you ready to do everything you can to elect Abdul El-Sayed to be your next senator in Michigan? And let me tell you, when you do, it is sending a message, not only here in Michigan, but around the country.
That's right.
Everybody is watching this race. Because when you have a bold, populist, progressive who is willing to stand up for you, for the working people of his state, and do it unapologetically from the very beginning to the very end, that means that can happen anywhere.
That's right.
And Michigan, you know, everything runs through Michigan.
That's right.
I mean, I am from Washington State. We like to think that we are important, but when it comes to the election, people just come to our state for money. But we love you, Michigan, and you matter so much to us. And so what you do here will affect what happens in the country everywhere. You will give people the model for what it takes to make our country work for working people instead of the billionaires and the corporations. So I want to thank you for going out on the doors. I want to thank you for going to knock and make sure that every single person has turned in their ballot. Do you have your list? Who's got their list of 10 people that you're going to go text, talk to, or make sure that they vote? I want to see every hand up in the air. Every single hand. And if you don't have your list yet, put your hand up if you're going to make that list and make sure that you get out and you talk to people. You're going to be on the doors today, and people are going to want to know, what is it about Abdul El-Sayed that made you come out on a beautiful Saturday in Michigan? And you're going to tell them whatever reason you have. Make it personal, because this race is personal. This race is about you and the struggles you have and the right you have to have a better life in the United States of America, the richest place in the world, where our people deserve to thrive, not just survive.